We plan to have Manny fight 4 times this year. We have an offer in Russia in July, another offer in Europe for September, and in the US against Terence Crawford in November or December. That will be Manny's last fight. Those are the words of Bob Arum talking to the Los Angeles Times. Now, when he says that they have an offer for Manny to fight in Russia in July, I'm not sure who that could be against. But the fight in Europe that he's referring to in September, I'm assuming could be Kell Brook, because Eddie Hearn has recently come out and said that he is in talks with Bob Arum for a fight between Kell Brook and Manny Pacquiao. So that could potentially be Kell Brook right there. And then finally, the Terence Crawford fight in November or December. And I would suggest that they are mapping out Pacquiao's potentially last year in boxing in order of danger, I think. Having the least dangerous opponent first, moving on to more and more dangerous opponents as the year rolls on. And I guess that's a logical thing to do. But if Kell Brook really is the guy who they're talking about fighting in September in Europe, then to me that would mean that they view Terence Crawford potentially as more dangerous than Kell Brook, at least from a stylistic point of view. Kell Brook maybe they feel is easier to hit, doesn't move around as much, doesn't switch, is not quite as slick. He's a big guy, yes. Maybe he hits harder than Terence Crawford. Maybe he's physically stronger. Maybe he's got a better chin. But maybe they feel like he's more hittable and from a stylistic point of view, a better matchup for Manny Pacquiao. Anyway, let me know what you think of this, people. I don't really have much else to say on it, but it is interesting that they're trying to get Pacquiao to fight 4 times this year. The Jeff Horn fight, then a fight in Russia, then a fight in Europe, then a fight against Terence Crawford. That seems ambitious to me for a 38-year-old to be able to fight that many times. That's going to take a lot of wear and tear on the body going through 4 camps, particularly when you're talking about 2 of the fights, if one of them is Kell Brook, being against very, very high-level opposition. So I'll be surprised if he does fight 4 times in 1 year at 38 years old, and he'll be 39 before the year ends. In fact, will he be 39 before the year ends? Has he just turned 38 in January, or was he? I'm not sure when Manny Pacquiao's birthday is. Maybe somebody out there can fill me in. But let me know what you think about these words here from Bob Arum. Do you think it's feasible for Pacquiao to fight 4 times this year against these type of opponents that I've been talking about here? And how do you think he will fare? Do you think he's going to go on to win every fight this year? Let's say he fights Jeff Horn, fights somebody in Russia. Who do you think the guy is in Russia, by the way? If you've got any idea, let me know. And if he, as I say, fights Horn, fights a guy in Russia, fights Brook, and then fights Terence Crawford, do you think he'll win all those fights? And what would it mean to his legacy if he did? Drop it all below. It's your boy Hatman, I'm out.